I don't think you guys are ready for this book on haul. I'm not ready for this book on haul. I have nothing else to say other than here's what happened yesterday. So I just wanted to give you guys some context about the book haul I'm planning on filming either today or tomorrow. I have taken off all the books on my top 2 shelves, which doesn't seem like a big thing, but I have not touched that specific top shelf since this bookshelf got put together for me by my stepdad. So lots of things are happening. This is the current state of my bedroom. So those are my unhaul piles right now. Those are some books I just want to make sure that they're not my mum's before I unhaul them. And yeah. Also, I found this cool book. It's called 5-Minute Mysteries. I don't remember ever owning this book, but it was on my shelf, so I'm going to take it to my best friend's house tonight and see if we can work some stuff out. Anyway, I will be filming an unhaul video at some point. But I'm so happy because these shelves have been causing so much stress and anxiety in the back of my head because I can't see all the books I own. Like, books are double stacked. I don't think they've ever been triple stacked. I don't think there's enough room, but they're definitely double stacked. And I just want to be able to see all the books I own. So I'm happy. I'm feeling productive, guys. You know when you get to a point where you've been so productive that you think you deserve a break and then you've got nowhere to take a... Like, let's have a nap. Let's lie on the floor. Like, I really want to stop. I'm like, I've done enough for today. I really just want to have a nap now, but I know that I fucking can't. So some of these I'm going to give the reason for why I'm getting rid of them. Some of them are so old that I doubt people even know who these authors are. Let's just try and get through this, okay? Let's just try. So the first book is Hello Heathens by Nicole Fiorina. I've had it for too long. I've lost interest in it. It was recommended by a booktuber I like, but no. Next we have Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I haven't actually read The House on the Cerulean Sea yet, so I want to see if I actually like his writing style before I hold on to all of his books. I've got R.I.P. by Charity B, and I read this book and it was taboo and it was inappropriate and that would have been fine, but it was also written terribly. Geek Love. I'm currently doing a little challenge in the background on this channel, and I read this book and it was not the vibe. Biggest waste of my time. We have Nothing But Black and Teeth, another one from this video I'm filming. This book is really short, really quick to get through, made zero sense, and the characters sucked. We have then got a bunch of Enid Blyton books. So we have got A Book of Brownies, Toyland Tales, Stories for Bedtime, Tales of Toyland and Other Stories, and Stories for You. They're all pretty old. I've had them since I was like 5 or 6, so they need to go. I should also say that there's absolutely no order to this list. This is just the stacks they've ended up in. We are getting rid of The BFG by Roald Dahl. I don't think I ever read this as a kid, so I have no nostalgic attachment to it. Once and For All by Sarah Dessen. I've basically purged most Sarah Dessen books out of my life. I'm only keeping 2 or 3 that like genuinely hit me. I don't remember anything about this except it involves wedding planning, so it can go. I've got Room by Emma Donoghue. I've heard good things about this book and the movie, but I don't think it's what I'm going to expect it to be, so it can go. Then I have got a little trilogy of books. So they're called Bard Academy novels. We've got Wuthering High, Moby Click, and The Scarlet Letterman. These are MTV books, if you can believe it. I didn't know MTV was behind the production of any books. This is a really interesting series that I really liked when I was younger. Basically a girl at this school, I don't know if she reads something or she does something, but male classical book characters come to life. She starts dating Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights, and at that time in my life I had a very romanticized idea of Heathcliff, so I really, really enjoyed it. A couple of other smaller ones. So I've got The Sittaford Mystery by Agatha Christie. I went through an Agatha Christie phase where I bought so many of her books, and again I basically weaned them out, so I have like 6 of her books. We've got The Fontana Book of Great Ghost Stories. I don't even remember how I got this. I thought it was my mum's book. She insists it isn't, so it can go. I've got an old paperback copy of Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. I've tried to read it. It's just too descriptive. Then I've got I Heart New York by Lindsay Culk. I actually had read this years and years ago. I recently got it in a book mystery box and I don't really want it. I've got Perfume, The Story of a Murderer by Patrick Suskind. I've tried to read this book as well and it was just too slow. And last from this stack, I've got Garden of Shadows by Virginia Andrews. I am only going to be keeping Flowers in the Attic. Moving on, we have got The Rosie Project by Graham Simpson. Same thing, I got this in a mystery book box. I'm never going to read it. I've got Murder in the Muse by Agatha Christie. Same as before. Crank by Ellen Hopkins. I have kept burned because I actually really like this one. I don't think I'm going to enjoy this book at all. Even if it would take me an hour to read, I'm just going to get rid of it because we're trying to be productive. Next, I've got 4 Past Midnight by Stephen King. This book is so thick. This book is 915 pages. I am never going to read this. Of all the Stephen King books I want to read, this one I know nothing about, so it can go. And I've also got Dreamcatcher by Stephen King. Most of these, FYI, like these small, what do I call it, mass market paperbacks, I would have bought from secondhand stores anyway, so I don't really have an issue with giving them back to the secondhand stores that I purchased them from. I have got 4 books. I've got Wayside School is Falling Down, Sideways Stories from Wayside School, Wayside School Gets a Little Stranger, and Wayside School Beneath the Cloud of Doom. These are all by Louis Sacher. He's the guy who wrote Holes. These were my shit growing up. These stories were so fun. They kind of blur the line between literal and metaphorical, so a lot of the characters got confused about what was actually happening. I just have really fun memories of them, but I'm never going to reread them. Same as the Usborne Puzzle Adventures. I have 4 of them, so I've got The Haunted Tower, Dangers at Demon's Cove, The Curse of the Lost Idol, and The Midnight Ghost. And basically all these books are, so you're trying to solve puzzles throughout the story. I really liked them as a kid. Again, never going to read them. I don't even know where you'd get them, to be honest. I've never seen them anywhere else except for this one secondhand bookstore. I've also got Wilfred Owen, The War Poems. I had to study this in school, and while the war poems, I didn't hate them. Oh, look at my little baby Steph annotations. Seems annoyed. One of my notations literally says, seems annoyed. I didn't dislike studying that collection, but I'm just never going to reread them. And I don't really have a lot of poetry on my shelves anymore. It's just not my vibe. Now, I think for the most part, a lot of these books will be recognizable to people. So let's jump in. I have got In the Clearing by J.P. Palmer. I haven't disliked either of the books I read by this author, but it's got to go. Next, I have got a duology that I don't think I'm ever going to pick up. I think the time for me to pick this duology up is come and gone, and it is King of Scars and Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. I just don't think I can get back. Like, I could get back into the Grishaverse fine. I don't think I want to continue my journey in the Grishaverse. Like, I think I'm happy with where I stopped it. End of the Six of Crows duology. That's cool. Like, I was fine with that. Next, I've got a book called Bloody Tower. These, I think, are Australian published books where they're just fictionalized diaries from characters who kind of sat on the sidelines of history. I've got the entire Bear 2 series by Sylvia Day. So in no order, I've got Entwined with You, Bed to You, Reflected in You, One with You, and Captivated by You. I loved these books. To me, they were the superior series to 50 Shades of Grey. But I'm never going to reread them. So it's time to go. I have got Jackpot by Nick Stone. Never read it. Every Boy's Got One by Meg. I say Cabot. Sarah says Cabot. I don't know, but yes. I've got this ugly copy of Alice in Wonderland that I actually bought from England, which is why I've been holding on to it, because like I bought this in England. Like I was with my parents and I bought it in England and I was so excited, and now I just don't have room. I've got Emile and Carl, which I studied at school. Chinese Cinderella and the Dragon, Secret Dragon Society. This is a sequel to a book I had to study at school. We have got Happily Ever After by Kira Cass. Keeping most of my Kira Cass books. This is just a short story collection with illustrations. Illustrations I am kind of sad to lose, but in all honesty, guys, I think I'll survive without the illustrations because I'm never going to read it. I've got Hitler's Daughter by Jackie French, Australian author, obviously fiction. And I've got another trilogy of like young teen books. So I've got Bras and Broomsticks, Frogs and French Kisses, and Spells and Sleeping Bags. So I liked those a lot when I was young. I've also got Avalon High by Meg Cabot. I really loved this book. It was a loosely inspired King Arthur retelling. And I've also got some books by Katie McGarry. I have got Crash Into You, Dare You To, and Take Me On. These books I've read and I don't remember them, so they can also find a new home. Next, I have got The Ghostwriter by Alessandra Tor. I'm pretty sure someone bought this for me as a present, but I read it and I don't think I liked it. I think it was a bit boring. I've got These Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan. This is the sequel to These Hollow Vows, which I haven't read yet, so I don't need the sequel. And if I'm going to get the sequel, I'm going to get it in the cover that matches the first book I have. I'm getting rid of Bloom. This is a really cute graphic novel, but from what I remember, it's very much light summer love story, and I don't remember anything about it. So it can go following the same path. We have got Skim. I have read this graphic novel probably 3 times in my life, and I still don't really understand the point of it. I've got Sea Prayer by Khalid Hosseini, the same guy who wrote The Kite Runner. This was actually a really beautiful book. I love the art style. I liked the message, but I have read it. I think someone else will probably appreciate it a lot more than me now. I've got Writing Fiction by Gary Disher. Had to have this when I studied writing. I obviously did not read the entire thing because that's a lot of work. I have got Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. This is me getting rid of most of my YA. Unbelievably, I still have a full shelf of YA, but this one I didn't love enough to keep. I've got 1,000 Heartbeats by Kira Cass. It's her newest one, and I just don't think I'm going to read it. The Opposite of Here I read kind of recently, like a couple of months ago, and I actually liked it, but again, not enough to keep it. It was interesting, but I wouldn't hold on to it, so I'm not going to. I have Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven. I tried so hard to convince myself that I loved this as much as All the Right Places. I definitely didn't. I have got this little copy of 1984 by George Orwell. Now, I kind of want to keep this, but apparently owning 3 copies of the same book is ridiculous. Oh, I found another Enid Blyton book, more about Amelia Jane. She can go. I've got 2 Jennifer L. Armentrout books. I've got If There's No Tomorrow and The Problem with Forever. I have always intended on reading these books, and what do they say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. The road to my bookcases is paved with good intentions. Here's another one I don't remember ever purchasing. It's called Wake and Fright. It's about the Australian outback, which is such a not a me kind of vibe, so I don't know why I purchased it. If I did, it can go. I have got 2 books by Rebecca Donovan, this series, so I am going to politely say goodbye to them. So we've got Belly, Breathing, and Out of Breath. I wish that I liked these editions better. I don't really like the silvery metallicness, but the first book is still... I mean, I'm sure if I reread it, I'd still give it a 5 stars. It was just so impactful. I don't even want to get into it here, to be honest, because I'll just end up ranting for the next 10 minutes. We've got some more Virginia Andrews. We have got If There Be Thorns and Seeds of Yesterday. So I've only got 2 of her books left on my shelves. I've got a book that I, again, always had the intention of reading. I got it for $3 at a secondhand store and I was so excited. It is Gemini by Penelope Ward. I've read a couple of Penelope Ward's books, always enjoyed them. This book I've just never gravitated toward. Same with To Be Devoured. This book is like a really short horror novella that everyone has put on the most disgusting, the most shocking horror novellas, and I read it and it was kind of shit. I didn't enjoy it. I found nothing really redeemable about it. And the last book from this stack is Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones. I know this is somewhat new. 2022 release, maybe? 2023? 2023, February 2023. This is the sequel to My Heart is a Chainsaw. I didn't like My Heart is a Chainsaw, but I found this book for, I think it was $2 at a secondhand store. So I picked it up on the off chance that I ever wanted to read it in the future. But the time for I'll buy this just in case has come and gone. We are going to be savage with this unhaul. So that book also needs to go. Now we're getting a little bit more into the romance category. First is The Honey Don't list by Christina Lauren. I've got so many other Christina Lauren books to catch up on, and I've just heard this book is kind of a convoluted mess, so it's just gonna go. I've got Raw by Belle Aurora. This is a signed copy, so I must have gotten this from Beyond the Pages. I might try and sell this one before I donate it. I have no idea what it's about. Then I've got 2 books by Erin Watt. So I've got Paper Princess and Broken Prince. I actually think I would really enjoy these books if I gave them a chance. But again, there is just so much other romance that I have to read. I can't keep them. I just can't keep them anymore. I've got a bunch of Elle Kennedy. Now, for context, I actually have kept a bunch of my Elle Kennedy. I've kept The Mistake, The Score, and The Deal. I haven't read any of them. This chunk of 5 books, it can probably get passed along to someone else. So I'm getting rid of The Legacy and The Goal. And also all of her newer releases. So Good Girl Complex, Bad Girl Reputation, and The Summer Girl. If I haven't even read The Deal by Elle Kennedy, I do not need to keep books that are sequel series to the series I haven't even started yet. And getting rid of The Mixtape by Brittany Cherry. I only purchased this book because I loved Mr. Daniels so much. And the Element series was also really good, but I just don't love books about music that much. And this is a bit of a throwback to one of my first videos, my first edited video, Brightside by Kim Holden. This book has such a special place in my heart, but I have since got a special edition of this book, a signed special edition, so I don't really want to keep the plain orange cover that traumatizes me in my dreams. So that cover is going to go. I don't think anyone would even bother purchasing it. Next, I'm getting rid of the Lara Jean trilogy by Jenny Han. So to all the boys I've loved before, P.S. I still love you, and Forever and Always Lara Jean. I loved these books, but as with most things in this haul, it is time to say goodbye. And similarly, I'm getting rid of a bunch of my Karen M. McManus books. So Nothing More to Tell, You'll Be the Death of Me, Shoot and Keep a Secret, I actually did read. It was fine. And The Cousins, these ones are all going. I am keeping a couple of Karen M. McManus. Autobiography by Christina Lauren. Again, my time for this book I think has come and gone. I think I would really enjoy this, but I think the Mormonism in this book might annoy me. And I've read another Christina Lauren YA that was not the vibe, so it can go. I'm also getting rid of Clown in the Cornfield too, because it was basically the first book but slightly worse, and I've got the first book, so I don't need the, let's just throw it out there, crappy sequel on my shelves. I have got Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. This was a really cute graphic novel. I don't remember anything about it. I remember that the art style was cute, the story was cute, and it was just a lot of cute. And I don't have room for cute on my shelves anymore. We are being savage today. You would have seen in either my next video or my last video, I don't know what order they're getting uploaded in, but there was a bunch of books that I read the first chapter from and decided based on that first chapter whether I wanted to keep them and give them a go or whether it was time to let them go. So we are getting rid of Call for the Summer by Dahlia Adler, The Girls Are Never Gone, which honestly is kind of intriguing, but not for me, for someone else. I've got How to Kill a Rock Star, Best Laid Plans, Don't Tell a Soul, and Scythe by Neil Shusterman, which I initially was going to keep because it's such an intriguing idea, but I've decided to unhaul because I'm not committing myself to a trilogy. Okay, so we've got a few more to go. We have got Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl. Again, I could see why someone would really enjoy that book. I just think it's going to be too long and drawn out for me. Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett. Couple that hates each other gets set out into the wilderness and gets lost. Not my vibe anymore. Women Over Here. It's a Reese's book club pick. Doesn't mean anything to me because I didn't really like the first chapter. We've got Eggshell Skull, which is a non-fiction about the legal system in Brisbane, or Australia I should say. Thornhill, part graphic novel, part middle grade I think, which seemed kind of fun, but I'll finish it really quickly and I will never remember it, so it can go now before I waste my time. I Miss You When I Blink. This I think is about loving yourself. I think it's a self-help book. All These Beautiful Strangers, again, I was intrigued by this first chapter. and I really want to keep it, but I know I'm never going to read it, so it has to go. My Sister the Serial Killer, I actually read this years and years and years ago, and I didn't love it, and I thought perhaps it was a problem with me at the time, like I wasn't giving it a fair enough chance, and I wanted to reread it to see if maybe my opinion would change, but I don't have time to reread books that I didn't enjoy, so it's just going to go. And we've only got a couple more. I've got Monday Is Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I think the problem with this book for me was that I listened to the audiobook instead of reading it physically, and I was very confused with the timeline in the audiobook. I have got The Complete Book of Naughty Stories for Good Boys and Girls. This is a kid's book, maybe like the Goosebumps kind of age, and this is real life issues and how kids deal with them. And the last book is my most recent read, which was Pine by Francine Tune. It was fine. It's just a little bit boring, just a little bit slow. Nothing really happened. And that, I believe, is the end of my book unhaul. I am so curious to see how many books that actually was. I'll put the number on the screen, probably, if I can be bothered counting. Thank you for being here for me, guys. Like, I don't even want to show you the stack. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks of books in front of my wardrobe because I have nowhere else to put them. And my issue is that I'm going to have to get all of these books to the secondhand store by myself. Good luck to me. Enjoy the rest of your day, night. Good luck with whatever challenge you're facing in the upcoming days, and I will see you soon.